Hello, and welcome back to Not Easy Being Geeky. This week, as promised, we will be talking about Avatar The Last Airbender. I don't know how many times I got requested to do this episode over the past month, but it was a lot. You guys clearly love the series just as much as I do, and I think everyone's freaking out that it's finally on Netflix. But yeah, Avatar The Last Airbender. Amazing series. Uh, Gets the pass for anime. And it's one of my favorite series of all time, and I say that with the utmost confidence. It's just so well done. The art style, the character development, the story itself, the characters themselves. I mean, there's something in it for everybody. It really is an amazing show, and a lot of great lessons in it too, if I just might add that. But overall, wonderful series, and I will be happy to binge watch it as many times as I possibly can until Netflix decides to take it off, which they better freaking not. They better keep it like The Office, where it just never comes off, and no matter how many times they say they're gonna take it off, they never actually take it off for the fear of people canceling their Netflix subscription just to get that show. Because I know I would. I've been there when they said they were gonna cancel The Office. I was like, oh, bye Netflix. Anyway, that's for another time. But yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of my favorite shows growing up, and it's funny to see it come back with such a wave of people loving it because I mean, I've touched on this, in a few other episodes, why, like, growing up with anime and things like that, I don't understand today's generation where they're so set in sub versus dub, because back hate to sound old because I'm not old, I'm 25, but when I was a kid, we did not get the choice. You were lucky if you got one or the other, and if you got all the episodes, and if you wanted to try to find your favorite show, you had to download illegal websites that gave your computers very horrible viruses. Um, or you were lucky enough to find it on YouTube also illegally. But yeah, I wanted to get in this because I noticed a lot of people are kind of annoyed with the bandwagon, hoppers, and I just have this to say. If you're gonna hop on the bandwagon, make sure you've watched the series in its full entirety, one. Two, also do a little bit more research before you just start blabbering off about stuff, because the number one thing I've seen is, why is it only in dub? I wish I could find the sub. First of all, there is no sub. It's an American show. There is no subtitle for it. I mean, I'm sure they've done like other dubbed versions in other languages, like I'm sure, but it originated as an American show, so there is no Japanese subtitled version, period. So for you to just start bitching about it makes you look dumb, because it doesn't exist. It was an American show. There is no subtitle version. And so I just have this to say, there's shows that are not classified as anime because they're not Japanese, that we give the pass because they're totally anime. They're anime inspired. They, the art style, the way anime flows, we give it a pass. So I'm just gonna spew off a few, and you can fight me on this all day, but in my heart, I know these are anime. Like, Teen Titans, totally freaking anime. Boondocks, also heavily influenced by anime. Ruby, also totally an anime. And let's just say it, Avatar: The Last Airbender, totally freaking anime. And even though they did not originate in Japan, they were heavily influenced by anime. And so I think that's why we totally give them the pass, because they're all amazing series. And a lot of them have also followed the tradition where they don't get finished, just like anime. A lot of anime that we love. And I just you know, it makes me excited in a way for this new generation to love it as much as I do, but also you know, it can be annoying because you have all these people that also in my generation where it was like they made fun of me for watching that shit, and you're like, dude, now you're talking about how awesome this show is and you talked so much shit on it. And now you're like, oh, but it's so great with like all the martial art. And you're like, shut the fuck up. You don't get, you know, it's annoying in that aspect. But I am excited that more people are excited about the series. So while it comes with, you know, annoying, you know, bandwagon hoppers, I'm excited that it's getting the recognition that it very well deserved all those years ago. I say that like it's 50 years ago, but it's probably like less than 10. It's, but anyway, let's hop into the series itself. Amazing character development throughout it for every single character. You know, so like, cause you know, in a lot of series they focus on like a certain character for them to have like a great character development like arc. I feel like every single character in this series has a moment of truth, like in one way or the other, whether it's throughout the entire series or a breaking point where they have a moment and a switch, like a snap goes off and it's a switch and they change for the better or the worst. And people shit so hard on the final season of Game of Thrones because all the character development for most of the characters just gets thrown away. Let's just be honest. It gets thrown away. And I think it's mostly in the last episode. We'll talk. I keep saying this, but we will go in depth on it. I'm actually planning on rewatching the series in its full over again to really like take my notes and stuff and figure out how I feel a year later. Because I think a lot of the times people just stop and they're so angry and they don't want to rewatch it. And then it's like, well, maybe there were signs. I don't think that's the case here. Let's just say that. I don't think that's the case. It was shit. It was bad. And I think that's why he wanted to finish the books after to see how people would react, in all honesty. He was like, I'm not about to fuck up my reputation because the show was so bad at the end. So we still have hope for it as an overall franchise. Let's just say that. But anyway, character development in Avatar: The Last Airbender does not disappoint. They stick with the amazing development of each character. And let's just dive into some people just, you know, to start with. Sokka. He was very sexist and had a very one-way thinking, like, oh, the man has to, you know what I mean? That type of mentality. And you see him grow so quickly too, I might add. Like with the Kyoshi warriors, he earns a respect for them because if you don't know, they're all women. And they're the most badass bitches you ever met. By the way, I saw this hilarious post the other day, just trailing off for a second, and it said, we should just replace all cops with Kyoshi warriors. And that cracked me up, because maybe that's what we do need, some peace and like some badass bitches to run the world. Anyway, not gonna get into much of that. It's a fun episode this week, but anyway. Yeah, so you see Sokka start to earn respect for women and to grow in himself, you know, and how a lot of people talk about how, you know, Katara like developed her strength so quickly, and it was amazing to watch that because obviously she's the last waterbender in her tribe. And so she's essentially having to teach herself waterbending, which clearly is not going to go very well. You know, and when she meets Aang, she gets like this light of hope that there's a possibility that she can learn more. And just to see her growth is amazing because you see her going from this girl that could barely form a wave into somebody that learned blood bending. My husband just like flinched because he hasn't ever seen the series, so him hearing that is like, what the fuck is that? Like, but yeah, bloodbending. Like, what the fuck? And then can we just talk about the time she used her own fucking sweat to freaking break out of jail? What the fuck? Her own fucking sweat. Okay, sorry. I get hyped about this show, clearly. It's so kick-ass. And then let's just also say the immense amount of wonderful, kick-ass women characters. There is not a single bitchy, like, you know what I mean? There's always like so many times in shows we see women portrayed as fragile and or like sensitive in a way that's in a negative way and that they have to be rescued. And don't get me wrong, Disney movies, they have their great, strong female characters. I mean, Brave is a wonderful testament to that. Frozen, Pocahontas. I mean, they don't need no man to save them. You know what I mean? And it's like, I wish there were even more, though. I feel like we need more badass women characters. And this whole series is full of them. There is no shyness from it. You got a women avatar, like, it's so kick-ass. And, like, Toph. Let's just talk about Toph. She invented metal bending! Invented it! That's fucking crazy. She's 12! She's 12! She invented a new bending type! That's crazy. And she's blind! Like... Such a kick-ass Okay, let's just talk about my favorite characters in general. Toph is one of my favorites. She is so badass. She gives no fucks. And she's hilarious. Because throughout the series, she's just going savage mode on them. Constantly having to remind them that she's fucking blind. And yet, because she sees with like her bending. And so she feels everything through the earth. And that's how she sees. But yet somehow Sokka and Katara and everyone else continues to forget that she's fucking blind. And it's so funny because she calls them out on it every single time. She's like, oh, it must be so fucking awful to not see. Like, it does it her whole fucking life. No problem. Anyway, Toph is a savage, badass bitch. And I love her so much. Man, I love Toph. She's hilarious and is such an amazing character to see. Like I said, a strong female lead and a young one too. I think a lot of the time it's like you already see them have grown and into a strong woman, and it's like it's great to see. I mean, all these women too in this series, they're young. I think a lot of the times people forget they're kids. No one in the whole gang is over the age of 16. Let's just start there. Zuko became a fucking Fire Lord at 16. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, man. Anyway, let's talk about Zuko. Probably one of the greatest redemption arcs in history. I'm gonna say that. And Zuko goes on this amazing journey, hating the Avatar, searching for him to redeem his honor. And he learns through experience that the Fire Nation, the nation he grew up with and was told constantly were the good guys, are pieces of shit. And they're the ones hurting the entire world. It's great to see that now, you know, with everything that's going on now. He was taught something and he changed. So that's all I'm going to say on that. A taught behavior can be changed. And Zuko's development throughout the entire series is beautiful. It's beautiful to see someone that had so much hate in his heart and anger turn into someone that just was willing to risk his life to help people. I mean, like, you mean the fight with him and Azula is a perfect testament to that. When Azula tries to strike Katara and Zuko puts himself in front of Katara. That's amazing. He would have never freaking done that at the beginning a year ago. That literally, let's also remember this all takes place in a year. So much growth in these characters, like I said, is so fast. Can you imagine changing that much in a year? In a year. It's just so amazing. And it's just, but it gets me excited because these characters, they all started off as novices. Let's just say that, like, at square one. And they grow immensely. And it's beautiful. I mean, the scene with the dancing dragon is probably one of my favorite scenes ever. I mean, with the two dragons, and then you see Zuko and Aang just circled by fire. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I think it's funny because Toph is always like joking towards the end. Why don't I get a life-changing experience with Zuko? Everyone's got this life-changing experience with Zuko, and she doesn't get one. She says, we're gonna have it. By the way, I never got to see Legend of Korra, and I really want to. And if anyone knows where I can buy that, please tell me, because I want to see that shit so bad. Because I know my girl Toph is old in it, and I'm excited about that. Anyway, but yeah, it's just the growth in the characters. It's amazing. And Zuko especially, like I said, I mean, we can talk about everybody else. Yes, they have their growth, but I mean, he did a complete 180, just like a switch, and completely goes against his family. Not his uncle, obviously. Uncle Iroh is the shit. He is the best fucking character. Fight me on it. He's the best fucking character. I love him so much. So much wisdom. He loves tea. And he gets his happy ending, okay? Makes me really fucking happy. That man just wants a tea shop and he gets it, okay? I love it. Oh, man. I love it. But anyway, Uncle Iroh. Let's talk about Uncle Iroh. And how he was such a wonderful teacher for Zuko in life. He never once abandoned his nephew. And that's okay. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. That scene where Zuko goes to see his uncle and like beg for his forgiveness is just such a moment, because before he could even finish saying anything, Iroh just pulls him in and like hugs him. And it's just like, damn, man, that's some real love. Oh man. He like never wavered in his love for Zuko and the trust he had in him. He knew deep down that he was good and that he would change things. And it's just so wonderful, And I can say, there's so many episodes that people would probably consider as filler, but to me they're not, because they are really vital to the story. Like there's this very simple episode where you see Appa's journey, and it's holy shit, that's intense. Poor Appa. Like, can we just say that? Appa kicks ass. Appa kicks ass. Little flying bison, chunkin' boy. Little chunkin' boy. Poor baby. Went through a shit ton of stuff, man. Came out a warrior. And then you got the horribly sad episode. And it's not even like throughout the entire thing. It's so simple. It's so simple. And Uncle Iroh goes to visit the grave of his son. And man, when he starts singing, you're just like, I'm gonna cry now. Like, it gets me every time, man. It's such a simple thing because he's just like going about his routine. And then you realize at the end that he was gathering those things to visit his son's grave. It's so sad. But it makes so much sense, And by the way, I just recently found out in the comics, because I didn't read those either. I know, I'm a horrible fan. I didn't have access to this shit when I was a kid. Okay, I was broke. I was broke. I didn't have this shit, so I'm gonna buy it now. It just, oh, man, like I've recently found out that they basically recreate that scene with Zuko and the gang, and they go visit Uncle Iroh's grave. Man, that shit's fucking sad. Man, shut up, Car. I'm crying here. God. Anyway. Yeah, that shit gets me every time. I don't care how many times I've seen the series. It really does get me every time. There's so much emotion in the entire series. Anger, love, hate, happiness. I mean, it's hilarious too. Can we just talk about Sokka, how he literally tells like the worst jokes, but he's also hilarious at the same time? And they actually, do that in one of the episodes when like he goes away to train, and the rest of the gang is bored shitless, and they miss Sokka so much. And he comes back, and they're like, "Say something funny," and he's like, "What?" And they just start cracking up. They're like, "Oh man, we missed you, Sokka." It's like he didn't even say anything. Anyway, man, and I'm still, the way it ended was beautifully, but obviously it did not really end because we did not get the 4th book, which is Air. And man, I don't know if it's true or not. I've heard it through the grapevine. I know that it's already been announced that they're going to be doing a live action series, Netflix, with the original creators, so it won't be shit like the movie. By the way, for the people that are just now watching Avatar and you think that movie's good, you're fucking wrong. I'm just going to say it. That is one of the worst effing movies I've ever seen in my entire life. In my entire life. They changed their names. Let's just start there. Ong. What the hell is that? And Sokka. What the hell is that? Why would you change? No. And they're like, well, we were trying to be more accurate. No, shut the fuck up. You keep the characters' names the same. What the fuck? 1. 2, they rushed through the hell of it. The special effects were shit. Even for then. You got Star Wars that was made in the 70s that had better fucking special effects. Even the prequels that people talk so much shit on, that had better special effects than this movie. It's so bad. And had like half of it was a white cast. Let me just start by saying this. None of those characters are white. None of them. Not a single one is white. They're Asian. You got indigenous you got it all, man, other than white. Then there should not have been a single white person in that cast. Like, made no sense. Oh man, it was so bad. And they can't even get. And by the way, if you're gonna do a movie based on just like basically the first like few episodes, essentially, make sure you make it good, because that whole arc is one of the best arcs in the freaking series, okay? Freaking Sokka's girlfriend turns into the damn moon, and you couldn't even make me cry. That is one of the saddest fucking scenes. And you couldn't even make me cry again watching that shit in the movie. God, it's so bad. Anyway, I will be excited for the Netflix adaptation because, like I said, it's with the original creator. So I'm sure they're gonna do everything they can to not make it shit like they knew the movie was. And I also heard that they're possibly going to be finishing Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series, after they do the live action, after they start the live action. I don't know when they're planning on doing it, but I know that it's already been confirmed that they will be doing it. And I also heard that in the live action series, possible casting is considering Jackie Chan to play Avatar Roku. If that's freaking true, oh my god. Jackie Chan's a shit. Can we just talk about that? Jackie Chan is so dope. That would make me so happy. That would make me so happy. Even if he's not like Avatar Roku, just somebody. Oh, that'd make me so happy. Can he play Uncle Iroh? Oh my god. The wisdom. Oh man. Oh man. That would make me so happy to see Jackie Chan in this movie. Or not movie, this series. God, that movie was awful. And they put it on Netflix too. Like, what? No, we should just erase that movie. Erase it. It doesn't exist within the universe, period. Period. It should have never been made. So bad. Also, I would love to see a spin-off series of just the Cabbage Man. I would love to know his story. That poor man. His cabbages. Always getting fucked up. It's so sad. That poor man. He's just trying to sell cabbages. Wait, is there... I wonder if there's like... I'm sure like in the comics they have to touch on that. Please, God. I haven't read them, like I said, so please, like, don't rip me to shreds if it's already been done. But I would love that. Just a story on the Cabbage Man. That would make me very happy. And let's talk about Azula for a second. Stone Cold Bitch, first off. Like a character you love to hate. Because she is pure freaking evil. Like, rotten to the... As a kid, you see her, like, even still... just like so mean and just evil, like pure. Like you could tell her father had like every little root in her. Cause their mother was, oh man, I would love to see that too. I'm sure they touch on that in the comics. Because it's already like they already tell you that Zuko's mother did not die. And that, you know, he wants to go find her. Man. I'm sure that's going to be a beautiful story. Like I said, I haven't read the comics, so if they touch on that, oh man, I'm so excited to read it. But Azula, also great character development. She goes fucking insane. And like the power, like her need for power drives her freaking insane. I mean, that whole scene, I mean, where you know, I think probably one of the biggest pivotal points is when her friends that obviously were not really her friends. I mean, it's pretty clear. They could not all stand each other. I mean, Ty Lee, by the way, Ty Lee's the shit. Ping, ping, ping. Like, oh man. If you get that reference, like, I'm so... Anyway. Just like, with the freaking stunning people. It's fucking dope. Anyway. Also, great characters. Even though they're like more like side characters, still freaking dope. So kick ass. Anyway. Oh man. Azula. It's very sad in a way. Because, you know, they have like that whole episode, the beach episode. That also, every single anime has a beach episode. So we're just going to talk about that. So this is an anime. This is an anime. Every single anime has a beach episode. Every single one. And they have it. And the beach episode is also very sad though, because like all of them are like unloading their shit. And Azula's like, I know my mother hated me. Like, it's okay. Like, I understand. But that shit still hurt, you know, and she says it basically just like that. You know, my mother, like, she, it's sad. She was like, Zuko was perfect, and like, my mother was terrified of me. Well, yeah, because you're bad shit crazy. Makes sense. She said, but yeah, this shit still hurt, you know. So it's just her development into like insanity was perfect. Because you see, like, her drive to get more and more power when she finds out that she's possibly going to be the Fire Lord. Oh, man, she just flips it. And she, like, starts banishing people left and right until the kingdom is essentially empty. She has no servants, nothing. No one to help her even get ready. This is a girl that's probably never had to get herself ready her entire life, do her hair, anything. And when she grabs those scissors and just cuts her hair and she looks at herself, man, what a pivotal moment. And then that's when you see like the switch like completely go off, because she sees her mother in the mirror talking to her like, oh, you used to have such beautiful hair. Oh man, that scene is amazing. And then leading up to her fight with Zuko, and he notices because Katara says to him, hey, let me help. And he says, no, I got this. She's off. Something's off with her. He could tell that something was wrong, and she went like fucking bad shit crazy because she was always so controlled in her fighting, and he knew something was off. And that fight is just so amazing. And what's funny is, I think in a way Zuko mastered all the elements as well. And I don't mean like literally, like that clearly he's not the freaking Avatar, so he did not master all the elements. But when you see that fight, there's so many, like if you pay very close attention, you see the earth bending techniques, you see the fire bending techniques, the water bending, the air bending. If you really pay attention, you see his growth in that whole fight. That he really paid attention to his friends, his new friends, in their fighting, and used it to help him in that fight. It's amazing. It's so good. And Azula, her downfall was wonderful. It made so much sense. Unlike Khaleesi. Yes, she went crazy. But it was too fast of a switch, if you ask me. Just saying. But man, very, very, very well done in seeing that, you know? From her like they really do show it, like from her childhood to that moment where she cuts her hair. It's great. And I think one of the pivotal moments for her was when her friends betrayed her. You know? And she's essentially that kid that like pays people to be her friends. You know what I mean? Because she has that power. She can make their lives miserable. And at that point, they're like, you know what? I don't give a shit what you do to me. It's not worth it anymore. You know what I mean? And they betray her. And man, you could see it in her eyes, like the hurt. Like, what the fuck just happened? It's just so good. Man. I really am excited, though, to see how Netflix, you know, casts. It would be cool to just see all new people. Don't get me wrong, I want Jackie Chan in this. Please make Jackie Chan, like, please get Jackie Chan. I would be so happy. But it would be nice to see, like, a cast of people we don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like that would help people. You know, I feel like sometimes people try to, like, recast stuff, or, like, when they hear something's gonna turn into a live action, they try to cast it with so many familiar faces. But wouldn't it be nice every now and again to see, like, something where people just are introduced and they become those characters, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I really would fucking love Jackie Chan to be in this. Please make that happen. Please make that happen. Especially if it was Avatar Roku. That'd be so kick-ass. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah. And Aang's development, too. Because you have to realize, even though he's 112 years old, to him, he's not that old. He's still a child. He was frozen for 100 years. And so he still has that child mentality to, like, want to have fun and to play. And to see him grow up so fast. And to find a different way to win than every avatar before him. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, he knew deep down that that's not what he wanted to do, and what he did not feel was right was to kill him. And to see that he found a different way, man, that's so kick-ass. Wonderful character development for each character. I mean, really. Wonderful character development. And I think Uncle Iroh, like, he really teaches you so many life lessons in this throughout the series. And you know, he's always telling proverbs. But they really do, like, they're really helpful proverbs. And there's the constant joke that he's always telling proverbs, but really, man, like, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and it's a great series. And if you haven't seen it, I'm so sorry I just ruined so much for you. Um but definitely go watch it. It's on Netflix now. The whole world is watching it. I mean, it's all over my TikTok. That's all I keep seeing right now is just so many people watching Avatar: The Last Airbender and talking about it, cosplaying it. It's wonderful. It makes me so happy. And I'm so glad that a part of my childhood that I loved so much has come back full swing and better than ever. Man, to see that, it's just awesome. And that so many people are loving it. It makes me happy because it's well deserved. It is an amazing series. It is an amazing series. And I really hope that they do great casting for this. And I really do hope that they finish the series because, like I said, we missed a whole book, Air. I would love to know where that goes. It'd be great. And also, I think it'd be interesting to see, you know, because I know in Legend of Korra, it's much later. I mean, like I said, Toph is old at this point. So it'd be cool to see that in between where they're adults, you know? I don't know. Like I said, I could be butchering this because I haven't seen Legend of Korra. So I don't know if they do flashbacks, whatever. But I would love to see that period where like Zuko is ruling, you know? And like how him and Aang interacted to help everything. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. I love the series. It makes me very happy to see that it's come back full swing. And I will definitely be binge watching it over and over and over again. I am happy to do that. It's that good. It's one of those series that you can see over and over again and it's still amazing. And I will be purchasing the comics. Maybe you guys would like a follow-up. I don't know. Let me know. And I will probably have to end up purchasing Legend of Korra because unless they put it on Netflix. Watch, I'm going to buy this shit and then it's going to be put on Netflix like the week later. I hate that shit. Like, it's like Netflix reads your mind. And they're like, haha, you already bought it. Fuck you get it for free now. Well, not for free, but you know, for way fucking cheaper than what you bought it. Anyway. Damn, I bet you that's gonna happen. Like, if I buy it tomorrow, it's gonna be, like, announced, Legend of Korra coming to Netflix. And then I'm gonna be like, well, fuck me. I'm like, yeah, I need to buy the books, the comics. I'm very excited to do that. And maybe you guys would like I said, would like a follow-up episode where I talk about Legend of Korra in the comics. That'd be awesome. But anyway, let me know who you think should be cast. I would love to see that because even though I was talking shit about like people, you know, typecasting, like I said, I mean, do that by all means. I'm totally open to it being like an all-star cast as long as it's people that it makes sense. Can we not try to whitewash this again? I think that's what I'm saying because there's so much culture and diversity throughout the animated series. It would really upset me to see it get whitewashed again because that's what it was. It was whitewashed and it was shit. It was so bad. So let's not make that happen again with this live action series. I really hope that they really bring in so many awesome people of color in this. That would make me so happy to see that represented. Man, I'm really excited. If anyone knows on a date for that, please let me know. I would like to get more information because let me tell you, I searched. I couldn't find anything. I do know it has been confirmed though. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that and to see what they do with it, see if they make any changes, whatever the case may be. They shouldn't though, because it's so perfect. It's so perfect. But yeah, as always, it's not easy being geeky. Thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hey guys, thank you for your continued support. You can check us out on all of our socials, including our website, noteasybeingeeky.com, and our Patreon. We just made a new Patreon. You can support us even further. You'll also get exclusive content, early access to episodes, and now our after show. Yes, we have an after show. It's awesome. Go check it out. And thank you again for your continued support. Every little bit helps.